I invite you to step into prayer with me, being here now, centered in wholeness, centered in love. As we come together, infinite possibility, infinite wholeness, they each unfold as each one of us. Sweet, sweet Spirit, infinite presence, divine mind, source of all that is, source of the gifts of inspiration, of joy, of love. As I look around, I take in the wonder of this earth, of nature, of my home. Each of us spins in infinity, each of us imbued in the source of infinite good. I know I am one with infinite presence, divine mind. I see my mind as the individualization of this infinite beingness. I feel inspiration. I feel joy. I feel love. I feel vibrant with my knowing that right here, right now, the flow of universal good is my divine gift, my birthright. I see the universe opening up for me to step through into greater lavishness, greater wholeness. My heart, my soul, and my arms are wide open. I allow, I accept, I receive. I feel divine energy flowing easily as inspiration, joy, and love. I accept all this as natural. Spirit in each moment is filling each of us with the knowing that all wholeness opens up for us. All good shows up in me as love. All good shows up in each of us as love. As I look beyond the mind, beyond circumstance, somewhere deep inside, there is love. Beyond right and wrong, beyond judgment, beyond expectations of one another, somewhere deep inside, there is love. Only love fills us up and reaches out to guide us. And knowing there is only oneness, these gifts flow for our highest and best. The words spoken today, they inspire. The music is joy. Our community is love. Each of us deserves this and more. With the deepest gratitude, I release this into spiritual law, which expresses naturally and eternally. The life principle manifests as me, as us, in every moment. I let go, and I let God. And together we can say, and so it is.
So last month we were talking for the whole month about higher, deeper love. And this month we're talking about whole no matter what. And so we're looking at two of the core aspects of the infinite, love and wholeness. And when I'm experiencing love, I feel wholeness, yes? And when I recognize wholeness, I tend to feel love. They go together. They're wonderful dance partners, if you will. And so we're going to play with that. And so we're going to play with this idea of whole no matter what for the whole month. And we start off with no bad parts. Yes? Okay. Mark Nepo in his Book of Awakening says, we are born with only one obligation. Do you know what the obligation is? I know you all know what the obligation is. Huh? Yeah. To be completely who we are. To be completely who we are. And he goes on to say, yet how much of our time is spent comparing ourselves to others dead and alive? This is encouraged as necessary in the pursuit of excellence. Yet a flower, in its excellence, does not yearn to be a fish. And a fish, in its elegance, does not long to be a tiger. But we humans find ourselves always falling into the dream of another life. Yet when we compare ourselves to others, we only experience the tension of comparing. as if there's only 1 ounce of being to feed all our hungers. Did you get that? Only one little sliver of being to feed all our hungers. But the universe reveals its abundance most clearly when we can be who we are. Mysteriously, every weed and ant and every living creature has its unique anatomy of being, which, when given over to, is more than enough. That's it. Go be who you came here to be. If you want to hang out for a few minutes, I got some more stuff to say, and then we're going to do some dancing and stuff like that. But that's really it. We are here to be who we authentically are. So we already are and always are whole no matter what. We always have been whole. We are right this moment, and we always will be whole no matter what. It's only our self-judgments and our comparisons that take us out of the awareness of our wholeness. Yes? We forget. We get out of that. Yet even though we may forget, we are still whole. Nudge your neighbor and say you're whole whether you're remembering it right now or not. Yeah, so we're still whole because we are the infinite wholeness being us. Yes? When we talk about changing our thinking to change our lives, we must not judge our old thinking as bad just because we can now see more than we could then, more than our old thinking might have been able to see. Our old thinking brought us to this current moment, yes? And oftentimes was necessary to get us through some squeaky times, yes? Narrow passages. But now that we can see more and better possibilities, we're tempted to label it old stinking thinking because we have a clearer view now. The truth is that we never left the state of wholeness. We never left our state of wholeness because we are wholeness, not based on what we do or don't do, not based on our actions, right? We are wholeness. When we recognize this, we can love all of ourselves. Take a moment, put your hand on your heart, and say, I love all of myself. Past, present, and future. Take a breath, breathe that in. We get stuck when we label parts of ourselves as bad or wrong. None of you have, no, I'm not supposed to say that, but anyways. Huh? Yes, we have. We label parts of ourselves bad or wrong and then try to fight them or get rid of them, yes? But as the old saying goes, what we resist persists. Because the law of mind is that what we put our attention on increases. And this is particularly true with strong feelings, which is what shows up whenever we're trying to really deal with some of the stuff that maybe we have some shame over, or maybe some anger over, or maybe some hurt over. We get emotionally involved in it. So what if instead of fighting ourselves, we began from an awareness of our wholeness, and that we are only engaged in restoring that wholeness? We're only engaged in restoring that wholeness. The Buddha tells a story of a traveler walking through a forest. And while he's walking through the forest, he notices a narrow opening in the underbrush and sees what looks like just the start of a path that's all grown over. And curious, he decides to follow. He moves the branches aside and starts to follow this path. And the path leads deeper, deeper, and deeper into the forest. Eventually, he comes across something amazing. He finds an ancient city standing before him. The city's streets were once carefully planned, its buildings beautifully built, and its public spaces made for people to thrive and enjoy. It wasn't destroyed by war or disaster. It was simply abandoned. It was simply left behind. And then over time, the forest covered it, covered the path to it, and the path faded from memory. And so the traveler goes back to tell his king. He says, there's an ancient city out in the forest waiting to be restored. And the king looks at him and says, restore it. That is what our king within, queen within, our high consciousness within is saying. We each have this same ancient city, this beautiful city within us that is our wholeness, our authenticity. Restore it. So we're going to play with embodying this by engaging in some movement in a moment and celebrating the moon as a reflection of ourselves. We see the moon as whole and beautiful, yes? Okay. But the truth is, it has pits and scars and craters and all these scars from its past history, yes? And it has a dark side. Matter of fact, it's all dark, to quote the closing line of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. But we accept it as whole as it is. Yes? As it reflects the light of the sun. So let us accept that we reflect that light too. And we are already whole as we are. Pits, craters, scars, and all. Y'all come on up now. Marty Dimmock from Dances of Universal Peace and a couple of friends are going to lead us in a little bit of movement to embody this experience. He'll do it.
Yes, 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 yes. Hi, everybody. Some of you have come to the Dances of Universal Peace on the third Sundays, and we invite you to join us. This happens to be a dance we did just last time we were here. And it was inspired by a woman who had a dream about her dark side, and then she became the moon. And later she discovered a poem by a Japanese poetess that the words of this song come from. So I'll sing a line. And
The people online can't hear a thing you're saying.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So I'll sing a line and you'll sing it back to me. Watching the moon at midnight. Alone in the middle of the sky. In the middle of the sky, I saw myself. We'll see if people at home want to dance too. So what I'd like to do is have Ted play this for you. You can come up here. This doesn't fit in here, does it? And I'll do the movements of the dance, and then I'll invite us to make a circle however we can in this room, and we'll get together. There'll be a part right at the beginning almost, where I actually in the dance I'm going to turn outward from the circle, but I'm not going to do that while I show you because you won't be able to see.
No bad parts, Reverend.
Their eyes can see us. So let's see. Turn to a partner so I know you have one. Turn to a partner, please. Any partner will do because we'll be progressing. Yeah, two there and just these two. So we were doing, I saw myself. Take counts with your partner. We're just going to change places with them. Circle, because of course it's not just with one person that we find ourselves, it's in the whole of the community. And then we're going to take 4 little steps going back in and raising our arms. Oh, sorry, one more thing. We're going to sway before we go. So sway, everyone sway to your left. Oh. Now step forward.
No part left out. Touching the moon at midnight. Alone in the middle of the sky. I saw myself completely. I saw myself completely. So how does that feel? Yeah, no bad parts, including your dancing, right? So taking that in, Ellis, Alec, hang on a second. We can hear you all through the room, so that you don't whisper. Thank you. So we do this for ourselves. We also do it for what's around us, yes? No bad parts. So on this Independence Day weekend, we can look at our country. We can see the craters and the pits. There are many, yes? On this day in 1852, that was before I was born. Just a little before I was born. All right, there we go. Well, on the other side of the country, there was a gentleman named Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was an African-American statesman, orator, scholar, who had escaped slavery in Maryland when he was young, and became one of the great advocates for abolition, which was abolition of slavery, and also later on for suffragette, which is the right of women to vote. So he was about people's rights, yes? Okay. And he delivered a speech that was called, What to the Slave is the 4th of July? Breathe. And he starts off by saying, what to the American slave is the 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. And so we can focus our attention on the craters, the stuff that doesn't work out, the stuff that's not working. Or, knowing that what we put our attention on increases, or we can look at the not yet fully revealed wholeness and see the light of hope and commit to bringing forth that wholeness in even greater and greater and greater splendor. Because Frederick Douglass ended that talk by saying, and he had spent a lot of time talking about what was going on with slavery in the country, and it was ugly. And he said, notwithstanding the dark picture I have this day presented of the state of the nation, I do not despair of this country. There are forces in operation which must inevitably work the downfall of slavery. The arm of the Lord is not shortened, and the doom of slavery is certain. I, therefore, leave off where I began, with hope. And so we are called to not pretend what's happening is not happening, but not get locked into that's all that's happening. And not to get locked into, oh, I'm helpless and there's nothing I can do about it. But to instead stand in a commitment, stand in the power of the wholeness and the love and the truth of who we truly are. We are here, as the original quote said, to be completely who we are, and who we are people who are free and want to support everybody else in experiencing that same freedom, that same love, that same wholeness. Yes? Okay. That is who we are, and that is who we're being called to be in these times. And so I invite you to bring that. So this week's spiritual practice is to practice seeing the wholeness in yourself and others. Practice seeing the wholeness in yourself and others, especially the ones who are difficult. Yes? Especially those who appear to be on the dark side of the moon. Are you willing to play with that this week? Okay. To see through the stuff to what it is that we truly want to experience and express. So I want to close with a quote from Ernest Holmes. He says, the road to self-discovery often calls for a clearing away of the underbrush of ignorance, fear, superstition, and sense of isolation, which have made us feel as though we are unworthy, unheld, and lost. In the divine providence of good, salvation is unnecessary, but self-discovery is essential. We do not save that which was lost. We merely discover that which needs to be found. That city within us. And so let's have an affirmation. Say this with me. I rediscover my true wholeness. I am beautiful as I am. Say it one more time. I rediscover my true wholeness. I am beautiful as I am. And so I am, and so it is.